One of the most exciting parts of the design of V3 is how it's natively built to be multi-chain from the start. What that means is, right, like if you want to launch an RWA product, one of the key goals is to have more distribution and liquidity and utility for your assets. Really, we're starting to see now a world in the market where not all liquidity is on Ethereum mainnet anymore, and you start to see it on Base and Arbitrum and Plume and all these other networks. And so what we've built is a product that you can tokenize and manage your assets on many different chains while only controlling it from a single chain. That's a pretty fundamental rethinking of how you build RWA products. And it really required a lot of technical work and a lot of complexity that we had to deal with. Also on the security part. So in terms of building a protocol like this, we had to invest a lot of time and effort and money ultimately into building the most secure RWA protocol out there. And building it securely for multi-chain access is just making it 10 times harder. So that's really something that we've invested in, and I hope that other builders can make use of.
When it comes to chain abstraction, I think there are different definitions in general, also to the multi-chain feature of certain kind of protocols. What we've seen a lot in the past is, in my opinion, protocols who are launching on different chains the same set of contracts, but they're not really interacting with each other directly because that is just really hard to solve for. And what we try to design with the V3 protocol that we developed is have something where, from an issuer perspective and from an investor perspective, you don't really need to know whether the issuer is actually handling most of its operations on Base and you're on Arbitrum or you're on Ethereum mainnet, but you mostly want to know that it's the same asset, the same security, and the same underlying backing from an asset perspective. And I think we've went a really long way on trying to build that securely and also giving a lot of flexibility on how you communicate between these different instances and give issuers, especially in a traditional finance way, the possibility to control that in a more detailed way and not just rely on a single bridge, for example, to say, I communicate between Ethereum and Arbitrum on one bridge side, but I have the possibility to have multiple bridges to increase security.
With Centrifuge V3, we're really setting a new standard in terms of security for RWA protocols as well. Really, what we've been doing, right, is building on the 7 years of experience that we have, and then building on the investment side of the protocol, Centrifuge V2, and then iterating on that and building this new version of the protocol. We've invested over a year in that. We've done over 16 audits if you add up all the V2 and V3 audits together with leading firms like Sparebit and Electasec and Burosec and a few others. We've also invested heavily in a really extensive invariant test suite, so we're basically fuzzing for the code base, which ultimately leads to formal specification of the code. We've also worked just generally in terms of testing and security, that we've invested a huge amount of time and effort into that. And I really think that other RWA products can leverage that and can build on top of that without reinvesting all of that from scratch.